they just ball them up and throw them back, and you're like, all of my hard work, and it never ends. Hey guys, what's up? It's Disneyland Banana. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below to follow me along on all of my Disney and college adventures. You should also follow me on Instagram at Disneyland Banana. So in case you guys didn't know, I did a Disney college program in Walt Disney World back in fall of 2019, and my role was merchandise. Before I did my program, I didn't really know that much about the merchandise role. All I kind of knew is that it was like retail. Once I started my college program and I started working, I realized that there's a lot more to merchandise than meets the eye. In today's video, I'm going to tell you guys 10 things I wish I had known about merchandise before my college program. Just as a quick disclaimer, I no longer work for the Walt Disney Company. All these opinions are mine and mine only, and they do not represent Disney in any way, shape, or form. Number 10. In most merchandise locations, I'm not going to generalize and say all because it's not true for all of them, but for most merchandise locations, you will be doing 3 different kind of like general merchandise positions. And those are going to be register, stalker, and guest engagement. What does that mean? Register is basically what you would expect with a retail job. You stand at a cash register, you talk to guests, you ring them up, you bag their items, sometimes you wrap ornaments, sometimes you do returns, sometimes you ship things to their hotel rooms, just, you know, everything you would kind of expect with a retail job. Yeah, register was always my favorite position because you just got to interact with people all day long. Working on the register itself was really fun. The second kind of general position that you will be working as a merchandise cast member is stalker. And I know that at some locations, stalker is kind of incorporated into like the general merchandise shift. So at some locations, it's like you will work register and stalker in the same day. At my location, it wasn't like that. It was, we had 2 totally separate shifts. And then on top of that, we had 2 different types of stocking. So we had floor stocking and we had outside stock. So for floor stocking, that took place in our indoor shops, and you were assigned either a zone of one of the stores, and when you were doing that, you were in charge of that zone, and you would go around and usually you would stock by sight. Sometimes they gave you a phone with an app called Smart Stock, which would tell you what had been actually sold and then what to go get, but usually for where I worked, it was just like you were just stalking by looking at things. Or you can be assigned the t-shirt wall, which I absolutely despised, but some people really love it. They say it's like therapeutic. For me, it drove me crazy because you would be standing at a little table and you're folding your t-shirts, which I will say, as a merchandise cast member, you can fold a t-shirt like nobody's business, which is a cool like life skill to have now. But you'll be standing there like folding your t-shirts, and then you have this nice little pile and you go around and you put them back on your wall, and your wall looks so pretty and everything's all folded, and then like 10 kids run over and start unfolding t-shirts and then throwing them, and then they just ball them up and throw them back, and you're like, all of my hard work, and it never ends. That's the thing that would frustrate me about the t-shirt wall, was that it just never ended. But like I said, some people love it, I just didn't. Outside stock is primarily focused on drinks and ice. In my location, we also stocked pins, we had ears, hats, and some snacks, but most of what outside stock was focused on was drinks and then filling the drink containers with ice. The third general thing you will be doing as a merchandise cast member is guest engagement. In my location, I heard over and over again that you are always guest engaging, even when you're not guest engagement. Guest engagement basically just means you are the person who goes up to guests and you ask them how their day is, you ask them what rides they've been on, you ask them where they're from. You're just there to like help them have a magical day. Guest engagement's also kind of fun because they will make up little like names for the different positions. So like, I remember in my first week of being a cast member, I pulled a position. It was like, go read books with Belle. I'm like, what does that mean? And my coordinator's like, oh, it just means to go guest engage over in Once Upon a Time where all of the Beauty and the Beast stuff is. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cute. Guest engagement can either be super fun or it can be really boring depending on how busy the store is and if people are willing to talk to you or not. Number 9, merchandise can be super physically demanding. Before my college program, I had no idea that a retail job could be that physically demanding, but here we are. I quickly learned during my training that merchandise is exhausting. You are constantly on your feet, so my shifts probably averaged about 6 to 8 hours, and you're standing the whole time, you're talking the whole time, and then on top of that, sometimes you do work outside, and in the summertime, Florida is hot and humid, and then it starts raining. It's just, I mean, people warned me that it was going to be hot and humid and that it was going to rain, but you don't know until you get there and you experience 90-degree heat, 90% humidity, and then just out of nowhere it starts raining, and then it stops, and then it's hot, and then it rains, and then it's hot, and then all day long. With outside stock, like I mentioned, your primary focus is drinks and ice, and obviously not every location has this, but at least at my location, you would have to move drinks from backstage into the coolers on stage where people like can purchase them. And when you do this, you grab like a shopping cart full of, let's just say 12 waters. You wheel them out in your little shopping cart out to the drink container, and then you're supposed to do what's called FIFOing them, so first in, first out. You need to take all of the drinks out of the cooler, put in the brand new ones down at the bottom, and then stack all of the older ones on top, so then that way there's no 10-year-old Cokes sitting at the bottom of your cooler. But in this cooler, not only are there drinks, but there is ice. Don't eat the ice. Just trust me, don't eat it. Cast members will tell you not to eat it. People still eat it. It's gross. Just don't do it. When you are outside stocking, you are expected to fill these drink coolers with the drinks and then with the ice, and it can just be really exhausting. And then you also have to drain the drink coolers because the ice melts throughout the day, and those drink coolers probably weigh like at least 100 pounds. I don't know for sure, but that would be my guess. At the beginning of my program, I definitely couldn't move the coolers by myself. By the end, I could. So yeah, you move these 100-pound or more drink coolers to the drain, you open them up, let all the water go out, push them back, and then you fill it up with ice again and start the process all over again. It's super physically demanding, especially outside stock, and I really didn't think I was going to like outside stock because it was so physically demanding, but then I did a couple shifts on my own and like without a trainer, and I realized like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. You have so much freedom. You can just kind of like do things at your own pace. It's really nice. I loved outside stock. Number 8, merchandise is universal, and not that kind of universal. When I say merchandise is universal, I mean that you can take the training that you got at your home location and you can apply that to almost any merchandise location across Disney World property. So like in a role like food and beverage, I know that you work in your home location and that is it. You can't work anywhere else. But with merchandise, you have your home location, that's where they assign you shifts, that's where you work most of the time, but you can trade your shifts to work in other locations. Like I was lucky enough to get to work in all 4 parks. I think I worked at 14 different locations. I never worked in Disney Springs, but I know that you can work in Springs too. There are a few locations that do require like special training, like Galaxy's Edge or Pandora, Legends of Hollywood, which was one of my stores on Sunset. Those all require like special training, so it's not like any merchandise cast member can work there. You have to be specially trained to work at that location. I loved being able to trade shifts so that I could have some like variety. I was never bored as a merchandise cast member. Number 7. This is something that I wish I had been told before my college program. I wasn't, and then I was kind of in for a shock. Guests can be rude sometimes. I'm not saying that all guests are rude because that would be a complete lie. Most of the time guests are amazing and they're super cool, but you do get the occasional rude person. Usually that is because they are, you know, on vacation in Disney World. It's crowded, it's really hot, it might have rained, maybe they didn't have a jacket, their 2-year-old is screaming, their 5-year-old dropped their ice cream. You know, it's just been bad thing after bad thing, and they have no patience left. And sometimes you will say hi to somebody and they don't want to hear it. Most of the time you can kind of sense when somebody walks in and they're not in a good mood. A lot of times if you sense someone's not really in a good mood and you say like, hey, how's your day going? And then you actually like genuinely listen to them, they quickly turn around and they're just like, thank you so much for talking to me. Like I've definitely had that happen a few times. And sometimes it's just like a smile can literally change somebody's day. Number 6. So I mentioned that guests can be rude, but guests can also be some of the absolute coolest people you will ever meet. and you learn the art of small talk as a merchandise cast member. When you are a merchandise cast member, you really are expected, like it is your job, to talk to everybody who comes into that store. And you just ask them literally like anything, like, how's your day going? Can I help you find anything? What are you looking for today? What rides have you gone on today? Where are you from? Where are you from is my like favorite thing to ask people when I was working at Disney World, because it literally can like spark the coolest conversation ever. I met people from all around the world, like all over the US. I met people from England, from Australia, from Mexico, France, Brazil. I helped a couple ship a toy all the way back to their house in Japan. They didn't even speak English. It was the coolest thing ever. The coolest thing for me was when I would meet somebody from California, because you know, I was all the way across the country, and I'd be like, ah, you're from my home state. You literally meet people from everywhere and you learn how to talk to anyone and everyone. And it's a really good skill to have in life, to be able to just talk to people. Expect to do a lot of talking when you are in merchandise. Number 5, you know where everything in your park is, or you pretend to. Guests have a lot of questions, and in my location, they were typically, where is the closest restroom? Where is the Fantasia show? And where is the Tower of Terror? Where is the Tower of Terror? You pretty quickly learn where everything in your land is. So for me, it was always the bathrooms are either going to be up there on your right or back to your left. The Fantasia show, do you mean Fantasmic? Yes? Awesome. So that's going to be up there on your right. It'll be under the purple poster with the dragon on it. Where's the Tower of Terror? If you look up in front of you, you'll see this giant building that says the Hollywood Tower Hotel on it. That is the Tower of Terror. Number 4. You learn the prices of the most random things. So like I said, guests ask you a lot of questions, and the most common one for me was always like, how much does this cost? And you're just kind of expected by the guest to know, and most of the time you don't know off the top of your head. I know random ones. These ears, $31.94. For the light up Slinky Dog, that's going to be $28.17. After tax, it'll be $30.01. And people will constantly come up to you and be like, how much does silver cost? And you're like, I don't know. Usually what I would do is be like, oh, I don't know off the top of my head, but let's go look at this diagram together. And then they'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so silly, I didn't even see that most of the time. Because I did stock so many pins with outside stock, I know that silver was $9.99, yellow was $12.99, and pink was $15.99. Again, random things that you just know. Number 3, you will know your entire area music loop in like 3 weeks. On Sunset Boulevard, we had 4 music loops. During the majority of the year, we have the outside music loop, which is like 1940s, sometimes 30s, I think, like pop and jazz music. And it was all like, they all had words to them. It's such a cute music loop. The fact that it has words, like you can actually learn them and sing along. I totally remember like working outside, and then all the cast members would be like, it's been a long, long time. And then inside of the stores on Sunset, they play an instrumental version, usually of those songs. Sometimes there's other ones thrown in there, and a lot of them, some of the instrumental ones are like Broadway show tunes. And then during Christmas time, we have a Christmas loop that plays during the day, both inside and outside of the stores, and that features classics such as I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas and 77 Santas. And then at night during Christmas time, Sunset has the wonderful show Sunset Season's Greetings, with 4 songs that play on a loop all night long from November to January. I know for a fact that I have expressed my dislike towards that show. It's a cute show when you see it once, but when you work it all the time, I was going crazy by the end of December. I would probably cry right now if I saw it. I don't know if it would be happy tears, but there would be tears. But trust me, you will learn that area music, whether it's instrumental or not. You will know it, you will sing it, you will love it. Number 2, pin trading. The best part about being a merchandise cast member is the pin trading. So they will give you either a lanyard or a hip pack, which I actually have my hip pack, and they give you some pins to put on there, and then you can trade them with anyone. People of all ages will come up and be like, can I see your pins? So then you show them your pins, and they'll pick one that they like, and then they'll trade you for one of theirs for the one that they like off of your lanyard. But yeah, pin trading is so much fun. great conversations. I liked to do blind trading. I liked to flip my pins over and then have people answer trivia to see them. Yeah, but pin trading is so much fun, and you learn a lot about pins while you do it. Number 1, your coworkers become your family. Yeah, this is like super true. So when you work somewhere for 6 to 8 hours a day, 5 days a week with the same people over and over again, you're bound to become friends with some of them. I feel like at Disney, everybody's just like happy and is like friendly, so it's really easy to make friends, especially in merchandise, because almost everyone who works merchandise is a more like outgoing person, so it's just easy to like talk to people. I made some of my closest friends on my college program through work. My college program group at Sunset, we were all super close. We hung out outside of work. A few of us did like a Halloween thing. I know that they had a Christmas party. I didn't go to because I was working, of course, but we all kind of hung out outside of work, and at work it was fun to like have people that you really like, because then it makes going to work more fun, in my experience. And then in most of my my roommates' experiences and stuff, your coworkers really do become like a family for you. And a bonus one, merchandise is the best job ever. I absolutely loved merch. I loved getting to talk to people. I loved the variety of merchandise. I just loved everything about it. It was awesome, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was helpful for you. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Shoot me a comment and let me know if you have ever worked merchandise at a Disney park, and if you did, what was your location? I would love to know where you worked. And if you are an incoming CP and your merchandise, yay! Congratulations, first of all, and totally reach out to me and let me know. I would love to help you if you have any questions. And I'm super excited for you to begin your journey as a CP. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys really soon. Bye!